Hello. Most mornings these days I walk along the Cam as far as Stourbridge Common, and it's quiet right now. There are very few rowers on the river, and usually only single sculls at that. The wildlife has taken it back. There's a family of pied wagtails I pass most mornings. Swans with their cygnets now rule the river, and almost always, somewhere along the banks, I come across a heron. And I thought I'd begin today with Robert Macfarlane's poem, Heron. Here hunts heron. Here haunts heron. Huge, hinged heron, gray, winged weapon, eked from iron and reeked from blue and beaked with steel, heron, statue, seeks eel. Rock still at Weirsill, stone still at Weirsill, dead still at Weirsill, still at Weirsill, until eelless at Weirsill, heron magically unstatues. Out of the water creeks long legs heron, old priest heron, from here on in all sticks and planks and rubber bands, all clanks and clicks and rusty squeaks. Now heron hauls himself into flight, early aviator, heavy freighter, and with steady wing beats boosts his way through evening lights to roost. The poem comes from the joint project The Lost Words, which Macfarlane did with the artist Jackie Morris. The book began its life with the discovery that a number of words from the natural world, were being lost from children's everyday usage and vocabulary. And so Macfarlane and Morris created a book of paintings and poems, ostensibly, but never only a children's book, to revive these words and the imaginative hinterland behind them. Words like heron. And Macfarlane, as a writer, understands that when we lose language, when we lose words, we lose more than that. We lose the ability to properly see, describe, imagine, and value things. We lose something of our world as a rich place of sense and experience. For well-used language is an act of love, of paying attention, of seeing and savoring and communicating something of value. To describe the world well is more than offering a bare anatomy of what's out there. It is to invest meaning into the world. It is to enchant the world through our words and the sense that they make of it. Language is a mode of love for the world and a mode of communicating, of sharing that love. If you can't put words to and speak of the stillness, the angularity, the combination of grace and awkwardness that is a heron, have you ever really seen one? Really seen it? Or have you just glanced at it? That's something of the importance of language. And language is especially important right now because sometimes in the absence of touch, in the absence of presence, for some of us still in the absence of even being able to go outside, language is above all what we have, and what we have to show care for the world and for one another. And for many people of faith, language is also the medium that God uses to show care for us. For Jews, Thursday evening saw the beginning of Shavuot, the celebration annually of God's gift of the Torah, the life-giving law, words from God which frame Jewish life. And for Christians, this Sunday marks the Feast of Pentecost, when God's life-giving Spirit was given to his people. And in the story of the first Pentecost in the Bible, the cardinal miracle which accompanies this event was the gift of tongues. People suddenly, for a moment, found that they could speak in other languages, so that all the travelers from many nations who'd gathered in Jerusalem at that time were suddenly able to hear God's words in their own language, in the words that resonated with them and their imaginative hinterlands. Language, human or divine, conveys meaning. Vibrations in the air made by lungs and tongues and vocal cords, sometimes inscribed and transmuted into text almost like magic, language born of communities and histories of communal meaning-making. Language is one of our greatest gifts. It is the gift we all hold right now. And I'd encourage you this week to hold it tight, to rejoice in it, to use it well to describe your world, because if you do, the world will come more alive to you, and it will be more the world it is meant to be. And use it well to love those close to you in conversation, and to love those who are far off through letter and email or phone or screen, for language is the blessing that we all have right now. Have a good week.